Let's finally do a property tour. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. If you don't already know, my name's Ashley. I'm living out of a caravan at the top of New Zealand because my boyfriend Victor and his brother own this property, and they are replanting a bunch of native flora, restoring the land, and building some short-term accommodations on the land while they're doing so. And I'm here filming the progress and helping out where I can. I'll do part of the tour walking and part of it from the air, but starting off, this is the caravan we're living in right now. It's not going to be here permanently, it's just like a temporary housing situation. And over there is the shed. I'll show you inside in a second. Out here we have our main cooking, sitting, eating area. Victor just did a bunch of dishes. And then that's our water that we get from a tank out back. Hang some cutting boards here. It's a really simple design. Victor just took a slab of wood and put it on a couple stumps, and then that's our dishwashing stuff. And we have a little smaller table right there. Let's go inside the caravan. If you want a closer look of inside of the caravan, I just took a video for that I'm going to be posting on my shorts. But pretty much this is our little living room here. 2 couches. I keep all my clothes in that bag, even though there are cabinets that are already full. I'm only here temporarily for the most part. I'm going back to California soon and I'll be back and forth between the 2 places. This is our kitchen. We don't have running water hooked up right now. We also don't have electricity, so this is connected to gas, and then when we want to light it, we just use our little lighter. Our bed. The bathroom. Also no running water there. And there's actually a toilet there, but we don't use that toilet. It's not hooked up. We use outdoor nature as I trip. Okay, that's pretty much the general gist of the caravan. Let's take you outside. And over there, you got the banana fields. In addition to the accommodations, Victor and his brother wanted to grow a crop of sorts, and since the northern part of New Zealand is a bit warmer, they went with bananas. Currently, bananas in New Zealand are shipped from places like Ecuador, which is a long way for them to travel and results in them not being as ripened and sweet when they arrive. So by growing bananas locally, you can have a sweeter sun-ripened banana with a lower travel footprint, and they're even considering making a product out of it, like a banana-based ice cream. Okay, moving on from the banana fields, this is the comfrey plant, and next to it we have a hole where we keep all our food scraps. It's not technically a compost, but more on that later. Over here we have a lot of the wood that Victor and his brother have milled. That's going to be used for building the dwellings. Got a little laundry rack over here, and if we walk through this curtain, we're going to get to the garden. So that garden bed hasn't been set up yet, but this one we are in the process of setting up. So we got some sprouts going and I'm really excited about them. This is my garden. I'm taking full responsibility for it. And right next to the garden, we have all the native seedlings from the local native nursery that still need to be planted. Okay, now around this side you see the shed and the water tank. Near the side in front of the shed, you can start to see the makings of some of the native plants that have been planted out. Like this one's called oi oi. There's also some New Zealand flax or harakiki, pahutakawa trees, and some other plants too. I've just forgotten a lot of their names already. The longer grasses that you might be seeing is called kikuya, and that's more of a weed, so we're trying to remove that. It's really difficult to remove sometimes though. Another thing we got to keep an eye out for are these wild turkeys. They're my favorites. I think they're really cute and I get excited when they come to the property, but we do have to keep an eye out to make sure they're not pulling out any of the plants that we don't want them to pull out. Okay, here is inside the shed. This is where we keep our chili bin that we put frozen water bottles in. We have some other random things here too, like the onions. Victor's work shoes. And this is our little like working station. We just both have our laptops set up and we work there. Got a motorbike and some other, I don't know, boy toys. Okay, maybe it's a bit more technical than just a toy, but this is the digger that Victor's brother has been using to do things like carve out the driveway and move this water tank and also dig a trench for the electricity. Previously, this land was a farm, so there's a lot of work that had to be done on it and still needs to be done. Over here, we walk over the trench, okay? And this is where the orchard is right now. And that's where my bathroom is. Something I've really been focusing on is making sure that this area gets weeded frequently so that the fruit trees are getting all the nutrients that they want and need. And also the water tanks back here. We finally have it set up so it's collecting rainwater. You know, some people are probably going to be grossed out by the whole bathroom idea of using the outdoors, but it's just like you're camping. And honestly, like, there is the bathroom that we could theoretically try to set up in the caravan, but I wouldn't rather be going outside than right next to where I'm sleeping and eating. I don't know. Does anyone else agree? Because I don't know. I guess Victor and I lived out of a car in Australia for 4 months, so I kind of just got used to that lifestyle. So I don't know. What do you think? So over there actually used to be a ton of trees, but they were all eucalypt and pines mostly, and then some acacias, which are all non-native to New Zealand. So what Victor and his brother have been doing are cutting down the trees and replanting native flora for the area so that the native flora can regrow back and attract all the native birds and other animals. And then they're using that wood, milling it, and using it for their property. So I think that's a pretty cool, sustainable feature of the property. Also, it's probably important to mention that the non-native plants are originally outcompeting the native plants. That's why it makes more sense to take them down so that we can let the natives thrive. Here's a view from the top of the hill. There's the caravan shed down there and where the property's gonna be. So I know I keep saying properties, but what I mean to be saying is there's going to be a main house and then a secondary house. The build on it should be starting soon, and they're going to be really beautifully designed, almost like pieces of art in the landscape. And it's going to be the flooring and exterior cladding and maybe some of the furniture that's going to be made from the trees on the property, and hopefully this will all be done by the end of 2023. Now, additionally, they're also planning on having 2 geodomes on the property, one of which is going to be situated in this area called the amphitheater. Now, Victor's been working really hard to plant out this area with more native plants. I really like this spot because you can hear the waterway running and it's kind of a more secluded, tucked away spot. So really good option for if you're just a couple looking to experience the property, but in a more glamping style setup. Also, I had this idea that in a central location between some of the different accommodations, there would be a citrus grove, an herb garden, and just like a cool place to come hang out and grab like a lemon and some parsley if you need it. Would love to hear your thoughts on that and if you think it would be a cool add-in. Sorry if it's a little loud, but this is one of my favorite parts of the property, the waterway. With the sound of the running water, the natural bridge, and the beautiful wilderness that you have, it's hard not to love the waterway. There's still a lot of work to be done in terms of planting, and you can only really see a small portion of it, but that'll just make the transformation that much better. As you pass over the waterway via the natural bridge, you walk up the hill and look out on the back paddock. This land is just full of cows and sheep grazing and is a really amazing spot to watch the sunset, lay out during the day while you read a book, or anything really like that. It's a very peaceful spot. There's also going to be a second geodome back here, and there's going to be some viewing platforms so you don't have to sit in the itchy grass.
How nice is the sunset? This is so beautiful. Just another day in paradise.
I hope you all enjoyed the tour. I can't wait to be able to share this place with anyone who wants to come visit. The far north of New Zealand is absolutely stunning, and I just think everyone should be able to experience it. If you want to learn more about the property, I have a ton of short videos up. You can also follow Viktor and his brother's account where they'll be sharing their journey as they continue working on the property while I'm currently in California. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, both in New Zealand and in California.